Rob, how's it going?
Hey, yeah, good man. How's it going?
Yeah, so good. Great to have you here. I mean, you guys must be G'd up. Big album coming out, a few new singles that have just dropped. One featuring, I mean, let's just get straight to it. I mean, Chad Kroger at Nickelback and you guys coming together. How's it feel? Has it all come together? And I guess just give us a bit of a debrief on what's been happening lately.
Yeah, it was amazing, honestly. I think it's probably like it's got to be the best thing we've ever done. Like, we're just so stoked. We still almost can't believe it happened and happened so easily as well. Like, it was, yeah, very cool. Honestly, probably the smoothest experience we've ever had as a band. You always have these ideas and try these things just in life that never work out. You have to work so hard at them to push them into existence. And this was basically an email that yeah, came about. And the backstory was basically the guitarist Ryan. He came to one of our shows in Canada with his brother, who's a Broco fan, and we got this incredible email from them a couple of weeks later, just saying from Nickelback, saying how they just discovered our band and never heard of us before, caught us at the show, done a deep dive on our music, and had become fans. And it was one of those like what the hell moments, like us calling each other, just like losing our shit. And that was on our last tour cycle. So yeah, when we were writing this album, when we'd written we've pretty much kind of written the song, and we were talking about the first riff and just kind of which way to kind of take it production wise and what bands it kind of reminded us of. And we didn't want to fall into kind of a trap of like, basically it's sounding like another band. And I don't think we had any worry of this song actually sounding like another band, but we
Yeah.
were like, I can see Nickelback doing this riff. And we were like, actually, yeah, because I think people forget how heavy some Nickelback songs and albums are. Like, they can, they can riff, and the production on some of their records is just so heavy. And we were like, wow, yeah, I could see that in this world. And gave us the idea to pull out the email and send the song back to them and just put it out there and say, look, we'd love to have you on the track. And yeah, they came back. Originally, it was like, the management was saying that they might be busy because they're writing a new record themselves. We thought, fair enough, it was worth a go. And then, like a couple of days later, they'd heard the track and were down. And within a week, we had all their parts recorded. They'd sent them over, and the song just came together. It was just honestly one of the nicest, smoothest processes and things we've ever done as a band. Of years of sometimes like hitting your head against the wall, trying to get a song finished, or having an idea, or thinking, would it be cool to get a feature on this track, and it just never working. Um, this one just came together, and it was considering the songs, like, just such a curveball of a tune. We were
Yeah.
like, we had no idea if they'd be into it or not, but yeah, they loved it, so it was great. And then we met them for the
Think
first time in person, actually, at the video shoot.
Oh, true. Yeah.
that's crazy. Well, Chad's vocals on that track, I think they work really, really well. And you may have just let slip there that we're getting some new Nickelback in the not too distant future, though, which is pretty cool in itself. But speaking of
Yes, yeah.
heavy, man, this new record, Nightmare Tripping, it's heavy, boy. I love it. It's good.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we've loved getting heavier and heavier as a band. I think since our third record, Technology, it's just the thing that really just nothing better than just being on stage and just like letting loose. And I feel like, the as a group of guys that have loved heavy music and maybe kind of shied away from that in the past. Sometimes we've been like, we don't want to fall into again like any sort of tropes, and just we've always strived as a band to really try to find our own identity and our own sound. And I think sometimes the heavier you get, the easier it can. We've been afraid to like that we'll just end up sounding like other bands. And I think by pushing the heaviness but still like dialing in what makes us Don Broco, we've kind of hopefully nailed that on this album where we've been able to push that heaviness, but again, kind of redefine who we are and fingers crossed find the best bits of what makes us really.
For sure. And I think, like, if you were to describe the sound of your band to some people, it's kind of like the feeling of, well, we really like being heavy, but we also really like melodic sounds. And we love guitars, but we also love programming. And I feel like it's still all there on this new album, but the heaviness is just like amplified furthermore, and especially like vocally as well. Like, did you change anything in your routine? Did you do any sort of different coaching? Because when it comes to performing live, I mean, doing those heavy vocals and the sort of hybrid scream singing stuff, I mean, it's a tough ask of anyone. I mean, we just had Emily Armstrong canceling the end of the Linkin Park tour here in Australia, and
Oh wow, okay.
you start pushing yourself in those directions, and it can be really tough going. So, what was the prep for you on this to sing heavier, I guess, to put it simply?
Yeah, there was no prep, obviously, recording the album. It's more like, okay, let's just go in here and see what happens. And then I did have a worry actually, like just before the first tour, because like I've screamed and shouted on on songs before and on albums before, but not to this level.
Yeah, for sure,
Um,
for sure.
so I went in with a vocal coach who our management recommended, who um, he's coached like Ollie from Bring Me, and I think Sam from Architects uses her as well. And I think my management, I didn't know who to talk to. My management were like, okay, well, this is a vocal coach. She's like coaches some of the best screamers out there. Like, she'll know what to do. And we got into it and kind of did some warm ups and things like that. And I was like, so like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just sort of just feeling it out and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
here we go. And she was like, oh yeah, I don't know. She goes, I don't think there's any I don't really know what to do. I'm not a screamer. She was like, she was like, the bands that she coaches are very much like they've been screaming for years, and they were like, oh yeah, I kind of helped them. I've been teaching them how to sing. I was like, oh okay, I think I'm maybe come to the wrong person here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
her advice and her experience of working with vocalists who kind of use hard vocals over the years, which she swore by, was it's very it's he goes, once you found a technique and you know what you're doing, and you obviously if it hurts or not. You kind of you're gonna know when you're doing it if you're hurting yourself, because your brain would just be like, this isn't
Stop.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And it's very much about really warming up, but even more like, when you're singing, you're meant to warm up before a show. And a lot of people don't because it's boring. Um, and a lot of people don't because they think it takes a long time. And her advice, which was incredible advice, was like, don't over warm up. She was like, find the warm ups that are right for your voice. If you're doing like an hour and a half show, don't be warming up for like a half an hour or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
that's it's like
You're
you just
stealing
want to
from
get
your
started.
stage time.
Just totally, and it's all about longevity. So she was honestly like a 5 minute really good warm up for your voice. That is the best thing for your singing voice and therefore your screaming voice. Um, so we actually just worked on a load of warm ups, really short warm ups, and I've kind of been employing them on the last few tours and haven't lost my voice yet. So it has
Nice.
been working.
Well,
Um,
man,
and it's fun. It's actually like, honestly, I just love it. It's like it's really fun not having to, because as a singer you're always like, oh god, I don't want to hit a bum note. It's really nice just not having to pitch and just like
yeah,
going,
yeah.
letting
Just
loose
vibes.
and just enjoying that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy hearing a speaking voice, man. It's so low and rich, and then you listen to you on the record, and it's like, hang on, is this the same guy here? Like, it's insane. Your range is massive, but I guess having that extra training is definitely going to help you get through those long shows too.
Well, also, I think anyone who's seen us live knows that like I've got a lot of help, because Matt, our drummer, is an incredible singer himself and has a really high range. So I definitely hit those kind of lower parts. And um, on record he's singing a lot too. But it's I mean, since we discovered he could sing and play drums at the same time, it's been amazing. Whenever
Let him
we're in the
go.
practice room, when we're in the practice room and there's a part that like I've done on record, that, I really had to push for. And then sometimes, when we're doing it in practice, in reality, and you've already sung like a full set, and you're like, this is actually like right at the top of my range, and I can do it, but it's going to be a bit sketchy. I'm like, Matt, that one's for you. Give him all the hard bits, and
Yeah,
I can just concentrate on just shouting and screaming.
nice.
Now, obviously, the record comes out in a couple of weeks' time here in Australia. A couple of singles out so far, but is there one that you are really excited for Don Broco fans to hear for the first time on the 27th?
Yeah, there's a song called "Ghost in the Night" that I think's, you know,
Yeah.
it's either my favorite song on the album, or it's like it's joint there. Like I just do love Nightmare Trippin' and the way that came about, and the story behind that, and the writing process. But the writing process for Ghost in the Night as well, it was like, again, very rare for us as a band to like write a song in like 2 days. Like songs can take us months, because we're a band that, we all have ideas, we all feel quite strongly about seemingly every section of music. So, it's sometimes like a four-way battle of wills on like what direction just a verse is going to take. So when a song comes together that doesn't involve that battle, and just feels good right from the off, that's special in its own right. On top of that, it's like it kind of really sums up a very, I guess, my first like proper like ghost experience. Like I've always been open to believing in the supernatural and ghosts. Like I just think that shit's cool. But sorry, I realized I probably shouldn't swear on the radio.
No, no, no. Hey, no, no. Let it rip.
Is that
Let it
okay?
rip. World's your oyster here.
Yeah, I love I love the thought of something else out there, whatever that may be. And yeah, this one time I was um with my missus staying at my parents' house, and like we were like there was my mum had like put a load of like clothes on my old bed in my old bedroom. It was just like a junk room. So we like stayed in this in my brother's old room, which we'd never been in before, and the lights were like flickering just like crazy. And I don't know, we'd had like I was pretty tired. We'd had like a really kind of crazy tough week. I remember like just sitting in bed, like feeling this kind of presence, I guess, while the lights were going nuts. And I told my missus, "Oh, maybe it's a ghost." And she was like, "Yeah, whatever." Very funny. And I was like, if there is anything in this room, if there's
Oh,
anything here
great.
right now,
Here we go.
like, I was like, give us a sign. And I clicked my finger. And as soon as I clicked my finger, the lights, and she's freaking out, and she's just going nuts. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
She's like, what? She like, you've planned this. You've obviously got some like, I don't know, flicker, like something connected to the lights. It's like, I am too lazy to sort anything like that out. I have not done that. The lights come back on, flickering again. And I go, look, if you are there, if there's anything here right now, give us a sign. Again, click my fingers, and the lights just go off instantly. So
Yeah.
I was like, sick, this has got to be a ghost. And she's just like freaked out, but also not believing, like just telling she's really tired, right? So she just goes to sleep, like, I don't know what's going on here. It's clearly some sort of prank. And yeah, I was just there, just kind of living with those feelings, like thinking about it. And I was like, wow, I really genuinely did feel something there. Like, whether it's my mind playing tricks on me, whether it's, you know, uh, a haunted spirit. I'm a huge Interstellar fan. So, and the thought of, the
Man, trying to get to you.
mixed up with the, yeah, it was Matthew McConaughey. It was
Yeah.
definitely Matthew McConaughey. So yeah, I think, I'm really interested in like, the concept of time, and how, you know, our understanding of it is very linear, and how time doesn't actually exist like that, and how, who knows what's going on, and it could have been, myself or her or someone else from the future or the past come back. And my mind was just going crazy with all these explanations of what it could have been that I felt. The next day we were we had a writing session with the boys. And at the start of it, we were like, what's going on? How has everyone been? We haven't seen each other for 3 days or whatever it had been. And I was like, well, I had a pretty weird night last night. And we just kind of, it was really nice just to write a song from an experience. Like a lot of the time we write, the music comes first. And then I get an emotional feeling from the music and the lyrics will come from there. But this was one of the few times that the music and the lyrics and the meaning all came from like the same starting point. And maybe that's why it came together so quick. So I think like that experience combined with the ease of writing this song, it's just got a very like special place for me on the record. So
Real life
I'm stoked.
ghostwriter.
Yeah, definitely.
Changing the
I
definition.
want to do more now. I want to do some of those ghost hunting experiences now.
Oh yeah, nice, nice. Just don't bring any Ouija boards into the studio or do any weird shit like that because that like ruined the Mars Volta forever. So
Really? Oh,
yeah, yeah.
what happened with them?
Oh, dude, you have to look into it. It's the story's way too long. I think they actually made a documentary, but basically they went too freaky. The studio flooded. The album was ruined. The band ended up breaking up for a bit, and it was just a whole thing. So leave that by
Whoa. Okay.
leave that by the wayside. Just choose how deep
Okay.
you go. But yeah, check it out. I think there's a doco on it.
Oh,
It's
sick. Okay.
yeah, pretty interesting actually. One quick thing, the percussion is back on this album. Now that's one thing that I don't know if there's like a crazy origin story of like the plastic cowbell that like to me because like we listen to rock music like all day here at work. You know, it's our thing. And one thing that's like, oh yeah, that's Don Broco is like as soon as you hear like that plastic cowbell, it's like, yep, that's you. You know, like
Yeah.
like it's just like your thing. And for better or for worse, I mean, like it's a trademark. I think now. I don't know. Do you guys feel the same way about it?
Yeah, well, we've had mixed feelings about it because we didn't originally. We were like, we didn't want it to be too like overuse it, I guess, as a thing.
Yeah.
It became so synonymous with like our song Everybody, which is the first time we kind of
Yep.
really used the cowbell in a big way. And there's another song on Technology Greatness that's like a
Yes.
ton of cowbell. And we were like, oh, we don't want it to overdo it. But I think we were like, look, if there's any song now, I think it might have been a show in Sydney. Can't remember if it was Sydney or Melbourne. Was like one of the first shows that people started bringing
No
cowbells
shit.
to the
Oh,
show,
of course,
and
Australians. Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
and yeah, we were. You're seeing people like in the crowd, like crowd surfing with the cowbell, just like hammering it, playing along with the song. I think at the end of the show as well, someone wanted me to do a shoey, and I
Yeah.
was like, I just don't want to do any more shoeys. I'm getting sick from doing shoeys. So I did a shoey out of cowbell, which felt a
Oh,
little bit better.
yeah.
Um,
Cowie.
Yeah. Cowie.
the cowie.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think like from that point onwards, we were like, look, if it feels right, like we love playing around with interesting percussion and things you wouldn't necessarily hear on rock records. So I think from then on, we've been like, look, if we can embrace that and bring that in any opportunity we can now. But it's not. I mean, it's actually not. There's a lot of songs where you try something like this just doesn't work. You're forcing this now, so it doesn't crop up as much as I think in our minds it would.
Right.
But yeah, we love chucking that stuff in on the record and then making it a possibility live. And our keyboard player Pete's amazing at like doing all that stuff because I did try it once in practice and my coordination of singing and doing any sort of percussion
Cross rhythm bullshit on a.
it's not for me.
It definitely works. Definitely works on this.
Well, you mentioned a couple of Australian dates. I know you were here fairly recently, September last year, and then 2023 before that. But new album means new tour, and I know you've got a bunch of dates in the UK lined up over the next few months. But what does touring look like for the next little bit for you guys?
Yeah, it's gonna get pretty busy. We've got a after this kind of UK week of release shows, we're back to Europe. We're doing a load of festivals in Europe and like shows around that. We've got this one day that I'm just stoked about in playing a festival called Rock am Ring Rock im Park in Germany, and there's this as soon as we saw the lineup, we were just like, we need to be on this day. It's like Linkin Park, Papa Roach, and Limp Bizkit all headlining this
Oh
one
yeah.
day. It's like pure, just like new metal nostalgia, and we were like, we want to be on that day right now. Architects doing that day as well. So like that's probably the first one I'm excited for the most. Just to have everyone stacked on that bill will be crazy. And then we're going to be touring, yeah, in the UK again. We're coming back to America, and we're definitely coming back to Australia. We're hoping we can maybe we're looking at basically looking at it right now if we can come back to Australia either end of this year or kind of earlyish next year. Because yeah, that last tour was yeah insane. That was the kind of start of our basically the start of this whole album cycle. Really, we brought out Cellophane, which was the first single. We wanted Australia to be like the first place we stopped because traditionally, I think being so far away, it ends up being the last place we come to whenever we release an album.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but I'm really excited to come back to Australia because the while the shows were amazing, I had like the worst time around the shows. We were
Oh
actually
shit.
finishing the album as we were. It was like the final week of it was like the final deadline of getting our album done when we were in Australia. So it was basically we were like we need to hand it in before we go on tour because we want to be able to just obviously enjoy touring Australia
Yeah,
and
yeah.
get that compartment done and start the tour. And that was the final deadline. And then we hadn't finished it while we were in. We were still mixing it. And we were like, okay, well, it's just mixing. We can do it. The final deadline will be like at the end of the Australian tour. And obviously, we were here for a week. And honestly, it was hell on earth because you're doing fly shows, and I think, guess what time do you finish a gig? Like, and by the time you're back at the hotel, it's midnight. We were then like listening to the mixes, doing
Mm.
mix points till like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., sending them back to our mixer who's in the States. So we had to send all our notes back with the time difference for him to wake up to then be able to do them the next day. We'd then be like, flying from, Melbourne to Sydney, whatever, catching like a midday flight. So I'd be getting like 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. The jet lag anyway, doing the next show, back to the hotel, listening to more mixes. It was like so
Hell yeah.
stressful.
Nothing like listening out for 2 decibel guitar changes on 4 hours of sleep with
Yeah, when your ears are just shot from the show as
yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, did you even make the change? Yeah, I'm sure there'd be some really tense
there's
back and
some
forth
probably
between you.
there's some yeah, the mix is like, what the hell are you talking about? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
we're just like, turn it up, turn it
yeah,
up
yeah,
the
yeah.
whole time.
It's brutal.
Um, yeah, so yeah, it wasn't the lovely Australia experience that we've usually had, where we've got to like go out and explore and see some cool stuff, which us is like one of the best things about being in a band is like actually getting to see places and you know hit up delicious Australian brunch spots and
The
have
coffee.
some nice coffee. And,
That's it.
that's
Everyone
like,
says it.
that's
Yeah.
the best things about, coming over. And we had one day where we went is it Rocknest Island?
Rottnest over on the
Um,
West Coast. Yeah.
Rottnest, or yeah, where they're the Quackers. And we rented
I've
some
never even
bikes
been.
and
I'm jealous.
it was fun. It was fun. And like that was the final day of our final day. So we were like, okay, like it's done now. And by that point, we'd missed our deadline for the record anyway. So we were like, great. Um, it was meant to be out at the end of last year, and yeah, didn't happen. So we were just like, screw it, we're gonna have some bikes, run around, and that was a very wholesome, awesome, like a taste of like real Australia Day. Seeing some nature and stuff. That was cool. So I'd love to come back without that pressure of finishing an album and actually get to enjoy some cool stuff. So yeah, I think that'll either be end of the year or probably early next year.
Well, we do have a pretty pretty nice metal festival, rock metal festival that happens in summer in Australia. It's called Good Things, and I was actually going to mention it before you even pointed out the end of the year thing, Brooksy. I don't know if you were thinking the
Yeah, it's
same.
timed out well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that
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 would
would
be
be
awesome. Yeah, I keep seeing the posters for that. It always looks amazing. We've never done it before.
mm.
There's been some crazy
Yeah, that
sick
one will go.
bands on
You'll
that
you'll
last
get
few
around
years.
Australia and you'll get to see everything, and then you can play your own side shows. Just get that non-exclusive booking, play your own shows,
Ooh.
get to tour at the festival, get everything wrapped up all in one. And unless you're thinking about writing and releasing an album in the space of like 3 months, then you're not gonna have to worry about that either. So it's gonna be perfect.
That would be nice. Yeah, that'd be sick. Do they do? Are there a few festivals then? Like it's not just it's a touring one now. It's
Uh,
like
yeah, that one moves
few
around.
days.
I think it's a 3-dater. Is it? Is it Brooksy?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah. Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah, we'll make sure we have the cowbells and the shoeys ready for you.
Perfect.
Awesome, man. Listen, we won't take up any more of your time. We really, really appreciate the chat. The new album is absolutely massive, like you said, and I think it's going to make a lot of new Don Broco fans. I think it's going to convert a lot of people who might have been on the fence to full time, stands. And I'm so excited for everybody to get around it and for them to hear that cowbell back again. 27th of March is when it's out everywhere. That's when the Aussies will be able to get their ears around it, and can't wait to see exactly how it goes for you guys. I'm sure it's going to be the biggest yet.
Thank you. Thanks so much, guys.